What's up, guys? Okay, so today I have a quick video for you. My thoughts on this are pretty in depth, so I'm gonna try to get to the meat of it, but it's reactionary. Like, what things in our life are we reacting to on a daily basis? And this is something that I try to bring up with myself in being understanding that I'm a human, that I'm gonna be reacting to certain things sometimes, but how often am I doing that? Is it necessary for me to always be just reacting to things in my life that I don't need to, right? Um, and the other question I ask myself is, what would my life look like if I wasn't just reacting to everything? What if I was being able to choose instead of just out of a muscle memory or split second decision, just making some decision because it's a decision that I just need to make a decision. And I think the body catches on to that. And so if you keep being reactive, then you're going to keep being reactive. It's just that simple in neuroplasticity. But you just keep doing that thing. You just keep being reactive to things. Then that's what you're going to be a victim to. And I think for me, if I can take a breath, if I feel compelled to do something and I just take a moment, settle it down, realize that I do have a decision here. I don't have to be making decisions on a complete snap decision basis. Then I can actually sit into that and hold some space for myself, allow some time to pass, and then make the decision. If I can continually do that, then things like work emails. Work emails for me are or have been for some time like one of these things where they would come up, and whether I'm actually working or I'm not, even if I'm out of hours, I react to my phone and I have this gut instinct that I have to get this done. And I think what happens is two things really in a reactionary state, for me at least, generally, right? And those two things are, I either get super reactionary towards it and I just do it, or I say, no, I'm not doing any of that and completely put them off. And so those two things for me is aggressive and repressive. And so aggressive and repressive, if I am super aggressive about something, then I am wanting to get it done immediately. If I'm repressive, then I am not doing it at all. And both of those things aren't really allowing me to have the freedom that I want. The freedom comes when you take a moment, at least for me, you take a moment. What is the most appropriate decision for me right now? And just let it sit there, right? If you can just let it sit there, then your brain actually has time to process what's actually going on, and you might actually learn something really important about yourself. Because what happens for me sometimes, for that example, is, I had this, issue with the work emails, right? And I found that as I was like, wow, why is it so difficult for me to, appropriately reply to emails at an okay time, but actually pace them out and say the right thing, and I don't mean right thing, I just mean say the thing that's most appropriate for that, specific email. Like, why am I so bogged down by this? And one of the things that came up as I was kind of pondering that was just on a separate note, just my need to keep working, my need to keep doing. And this compulsion of I'm not doing enough kind of came up out of recognizing that I was reacting. So you can find out a lot about yourself if you take the time to understand what you're reacting to. Am I reacting to someone when they say something like that nerve that they hit when you jump out to get somebody? That can tell a lot about you, and you can find those if you're looking for them. And I think every day as humans, we have those moments where we're really reactive. We're super, and I think about, what happens typically, at least for me, is like when I'm wounded or when I have my own struggles or challenges in life, and maybe that's born in trauma or whatever, and I'm just living my day and I'm trying to live in like a flow state. If something jumps in and takes me out of that state, I know, hey, there's something there that's keeping me in a reactionary period or a reactionary state. And so for me, that's what's been, a really eye opener for me in moving into new states in my life. And it's taken me, a fair amount of time in my life just to make that be the goal. I want to make and create more freedom for myself by seeing what I'm reacting to. And so for me, that's been a good thought, or a good, it's almost like a prayer, right? And so I just, pray sometimes. I just say, hey, like, show me what I'm reacting to. It's as simple as that. And you will. And I think for me, that primes my brain to be able to be accepting and ready for those things that I'm reacting to, so that I don't have to be a slave to those things, right? And that's what we're trying to avoid, is just being a slave to the things that we don't want to be a slave to. That creates more freedom for us. So I ask myself a lot, like, what would my life look like if I wasn't shackled by these things, these reactions in my life? And as I move into more states of my life, and I have more years on this planet, that for sure will be a major thing for me in understanding where my reactions are. And so the question is like, what would your life look like, right? What would it look like for you? Like, what would I be doing, right? And you can find out more and more who you really are as you let go of these reactions. And it's just awesome. It's like you really do see who you really are when you get to choose. And that's the beauty of life. And so hopefully this was impactful for you. Either way, it's a good thing for me to reiterate in my life. But I'm very, very lucky to be here, and I'm very grateful. Love you guys. Talk to you later.